Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Primal Splitter Eyes 232. Welcome back to another Titanfall. Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Primal Splitter Eyes 232. Welcome back to another Titanfall 2 video. This time, it's not going to be a gameplay video. This time, it's going to be a showing my class setups and stuff like that, because I know that I think at one point Ishii did it, and Iniquity did it, and I think Benchy maybe did it like early on with the game, but it's been like a year and a half since the game had first dropped. So I was thinking, hey, why don't I do the same thing? So leave a like and subscribe if you liked my loadouts, and we will get right to it here. So the first loadout I have is the Hemlock. This, I think, was the third gun that I got past Gen 1. Normally with this loadout, I normally do the HCOG because it's probably the best sight for it. Like, you can argue that the Ranger is better. I know that some people might use the stock sights, but to me it doesn't quite fit the playstyle that I like to play, which is at a range, because let's be honest, you can't really be aggressive with the Hemlock. So, and the thread scope, I just don't use it. So anyway, and I do use the RE45 in almost every one of my loadouts, so no, probably every one of them. So yeah, so my AT weapon normally consists of these three. I never really use the charge rifle. To me, it's not that great, so normally it's gonna be one of these three. I think the mag launcher was the first AT weapon that I had gotten past Gen 1. Then it was the Archer that I got past Gen 1, and then it was the Thunderbolt, and as you can see, the charge rifle is not exactly past Gen 1 yet, because I just hate using it. Like, it's not as effective as these three. Anyway, next class is my car class. Oh, sorry about that. With my Hemlock class, I normally run arc grenades and grapple. I always use the fast regen because it's super convenient, and low profile is like the only thing I ever use on any one of my classes ever. So yeah, and then my assassination is hole in the wall because it's super trolly. Anyway, so next one is my car class, which obviously car. Normally what I run with this is extra ammo and the gun runner. I don't normally use the speed loader because it already has a fast reload. Gun ready is kind of just a useless perk. Tactical is okay, but grapple like has 2 charges, and I might use it if I was doing more of like a phase shift class. So yeah, and I don't normally use the quick swap. So the car was actually the first gun that I got past Gen 2, or sorry, I got past Gen 1. So this is, yeah, it's my personal favorite. Well, it's like my third favorite gun. Anyway, so the hollow sight is normally what I use. I did for a time use the Ranger. It's actually pretty good. I would definitely not sleep on it. It's definitely good. The factory issue sights are okay. They're not my favorite. Like, they're not a hindrance, but I just like the hollow sight. I normally don't use the threat scope with this with the car because It's just the threat scope is a little too bulky for me, so I just like the holo sight. And my secondary is the RE45, extra ammo, the gun runner, and the pro screen, blah blah blah. And you've seen this already. So next one is a flatline. I do run grapple. Sometimes I do run the phase shift with the flatline. I normally run extra ammo. Like, you don't absolutely need this with the flatline because it already has like its magazine size is already 30, so you don't absolutely need this, but it's definitely a help. I normally don't use the gunrunner perk because the flatline's hipfire is not the best. It's not very consistent. The scope kind of ranges, in my personal opinion. You don't have to use the HCOG. I've seen some people use the Ranger. It's too much zoom for the flatline, and at range it's gonna struggle. So the Ranger isn't the best, but I've seen some people use it. The factory sights are not terrible. They are better than the HCOG Ranger and the threat scope. So normally what I use with the flatline is the HCOG and the factory. But factory issues are not bad. It's not a bad scope to go with, but it's definitely more close range, or if you want to go for like hip fire kills. And yeah, the rest of my loadout. The Volt is actually, so this gun gave me a lot of trouble. I normally never use the Volt that much because it's just, it's, they need to buff the Volt, as you can see by the title that I put on it. They need to buff the Volt because it's too weak of a gun to play with. And like, yes, I do enjoy playing with it, I really do, because it's satisfying. But the Volt like really needs some love. It really does. Normally what I use with it is speed loader. You can use gunrunner if you absolutely want to. You don't have to use the gunrunner perk, but it's okay. I normally, and the rest of them, I normally just use these two. Extra ammo, you don't need this with the Volt. I use it because sometimes I definitely don't hit my shots, and I need that extra 7 bullets. Normally with the sights, you can get away with using like any one of these. Normally with the Volt, I normally use the stock sights because in my opinion they're the best for the Volt. You can use the holo sight, but the holo sight kind of gives it more recoil, and yeah, I know, like, recoil with the Volt is unheard of, but this gives it noticeably, like visually, it gives it a lot less recoil. This gives it a little more recoil that I've liked. I don't know who the heck uses the threat scope with the Volt. I have seen some people use it. I just don't know why, and I have never seen anyone use the Ranger with the Volt. So normally these two are the ones that I stick with, but it's normally just the stock sights that I stick with. Now some people are gonna get really mad at me here, and I know this has been like a very controversial thing with my channel and all the Titanfall videos that I do upload with the Spitfire. The Spitfire is a good gun. no matter what anyone says. Like, it's a good gun. I don't think it's a scrub gun, as long as you're not just sitting there and shooting at people. Like, when I use this gun, I normally like you've all seen my videos. I run around with this thing, like guns blazing, run around with a Spitfire. Um, I'm you do not need speed loader, or sorry, no, you need speed loader for the Spitfire. You don't need it. Uh, 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 the extra ammo with this gun. You could get away with the Gunrunner perk, because its hipfire is not that bad. Like, especially when you're sliding, it's not that bad. These just hinder it. This and this is what I normally run with this gun. Normally it's Gunrunner, so I'm gonna switch that right now. So with the Spitfire, you can get away with any one of these. This is what I suggest is its best sight, is because, like, yeah, it's a bulky gun. This sight is the AOG is just, it's too bulky. You can't see anything. You can't see a thing with this. The Ranger is the second best scope for the Spitfire. I normally use it because normally when I use the Spitfire, it's on long range maps. If I don't use the Ranger, it's normally the stock sights. I have played with the threat scope maybe once in a while, but the threat scope is just as bulky as this one, so normally it's just the Ranger and the factory. So I just want you guys to know, if you use the Spitfire, it's not bad, okay? I'm not gonna say like you're a scrub if you use it, unless if you're being a scrub, like camping in one spot and using the Spitfire. Then I'm gonna yell at you. But I've seen some people play with the Spitfire, like running around, grappling around with the Spitfire. Like, if you use this, I'm not gonna be mad as long as you're moving. Like, I don't know where the hate came from with the Spitfire, but just because it's a good gun, everyone just decides to hate on it, I guess. And with this class, I normally use the Knee Plus because it's funny as hell. Anyway, so next is my second favorite gun, the R97. Everything is predominantly the same. Normally with the R97, I always use the Gunrunner perk because its hipfire is absolutely nasty. Speedloader is okay with it. You don't need extra ammo because its clip is a 40 shot clip. If you do use the extra ammo, it brings it up to like 45 or something like that. But you definitely don't need this. I always use the stock sights with the R97. This, like, everything else is just this. You don't want to aim down sights with the R97 unless you absolutely have to. If you do, I'd stay with the factory sights. If you absolutely have to, use the hollow sight. Don't use this. I've seen some people use this, like, and their screen goes everywhere. So please don't. Like, you'd be doing yourself a favor if you didn't use this one. So normally it's just these two sights, and everything else is the same. Now, these two guns got a lot of hate back when they were like back when they were the best guns, like, in the game. And I know I made a video saying, like, hey, whoever uses gun, you're a scrub. I apologize. or sorry, I made a video that apologized to you guys who still use it. I apologized, and I know that doesn't make it right, but I have, like, this is like in my top 10 favorite guns, because it's just a really good gun, guys. Like, I really don't care if you use it. Like, if you do, good for you. If you don't, it's fine. Now, with this one, I normally use speed loader and extra ammo because the clip size is only 24 rounds. That doesn't make sense. Like, it's in both guns too. Like, it's in both guns that their stock magazine is 24. It's like, that's one less than the extra ammo on the alternator. So that's a little bit stupid, but oh well. These sights that I normally use are the HCOG. I next to never use the Ranger because that's too much zoom up for the R2. And this gun, unlike its counterpart, the R101, this one has a lot more noticeable recoil. I do use the stock sights sometimes if I'm feeling like if I'm feeling like my aim is good that day, then I use it. But normally you'll always see me using this one. I have used the threat scope with both the R2 and the R101. It's not bad. Like, I've used it, it's pretty good. It's still bulky as hell, but normally it's gonna be this one or this one. Always these ones. And yeah, that's about it. So with the R101, this one is the lesser recoil of the two counterparts. Normally I'll always use these. I'll always use the HCOG and the threat. I'll never use this. This is, I don't know why they included this. Like, literally, if they gave us the iron sights, it would be just as good. Like, I would be playing with, like, the R101 of old. Like, if you guys know that, like, if you guys know that gun, good God, that R101 was ridiculous. Like, you never even had to use a scope. You would always use the iron sights. You all from Titanfall 1, you players that I know that you guys are, if you guys remember this thing, oh my gosh, it was a wrecking machine. You never needed a scope. But the fact that they included this is like, why would you hinder someone? Like, this is too bulky. Like, this sight is just, like, why would you only include it for this one gun? Like, this one assault rifle. It doesn't make sense. Respawn, what are you doing? So normally it's gonna be these two sights always. Normally it's gonna always be the it's always going to be the HCOG. I wish that they had they had the iron sights. They didn't need to put this in because it's just big and bulky, and it's just, you don't need this. So always use these two, guys. Speed loader, duh. Extra ammo, I use it because, again, it only has a 24 bullet magazine, which is like ridiculous. But I think out of the out of the two, the R201 kills faster, and the R101 has the less recoil. I think that's what it is. So, before you guys laugh at me, yes, I did make a two sniper classes in case I ever feel in a sniper mood. This gun, this was the first sniper I ever picked up. Sorry, no, that's a lie. The first sniper I ever picked up was the was uh th- was the DMR sniper rifle, and then I figured out that it was complete ballsack. And then I saw this gun in the trailer, and I thought, what? A twin fire sniper rifle? That's gotta be dope. And actually, this was the last sniper that got buffed, or uh, this was the last sniper that got buffed, but it was the first, or one of the first guns to ever get buffed in the game. Like, I think it was like the first month it got buffed, because originally, I think it was the first month, the double take with 3-shot. Yeah, I know, that's ridiculous. 3-shot body shot. Someone from any range, it was a 3-shot body shot, and it was a 2-shot headshot, which should never even take 2 shots to hit someone in the freaking head. Are you kidding? But anyway, Respawn fixed it, so now, for the last year and maybe 8 months, the double take is probably the sniper that like everyone uses. I have seen some people use the DMR, and I cannot believe that they even use that gun. But anyways, guys, so the double take, I normally use speed loader because its reload time is outrageous per sniper. It's the quickest, but it's no, sorry, no. It's the quickest reload, but it's definitely underwhelming. The gun itself is underwhelming. I always use extra ammo because it only comes with a mag of 12 rounds, and you go through those rounds very quickly when you're using this gun. Now the sights, I always use the stock sights because they're the best. They always have been the best. I've seen some people use the variable zoom, but it's just too much. And the threat scope, I don't even know who uses this with the double take. I don't even know who uses this. If you use it, you're kind of a scrub. But basically, this is the best sight. And yes, I do have the Masterwork Elite, which is a dope ass camo, but who cares about the camos, guys? No one does. Now knowing what I just said about the DMR, this is hands down my favorite gun in the entire game. It was my favorite gun in the first game, and everyone knows it because I used it so much. It's my most used gun in Titanfall 1, but for some reason Respawn nerfed the hell out of it, and it just sucks. Like, no matter what, it's quite possibly the worst gun in the game, besides maybe like the Cold War or something like that. But it's just not a good gun, guys. Which it pains me to say that about my favorite gun, but it's true. So going forward, I always use extra ammo. Granted, this sniper has 6 rounds in one mag. Using this gun, you're gonna go through that quickly, like easily. You're gonna shoot off those 6 rounds like almost immediately. Speed loader is a necessity because this, I think, has the slowest reload time of all the snipers. Like, that's a little ridiculous. Like, it's slower than the Kraber. Like, that's ridiculous. Now, with the sights, I always use the variable zoom because it's the closest thing that I can get to the AOG scope, which I don't know why they just didn't throw it in with the sniper rifles, because in the first game you could use the AOG scope with almost any sniper rifle and it would still be good. Granted, there were only 2 sniper rifles, but you could still use it. This, if you hit your left um your left analog stick wrong, it zooms in for you, and like that just throws you off, which is normally why I only use the stock sights, because for the gun that just sucks no matter how you use it. Like, I've seen some people use it effectively. I can only say that I've only seen Benchy use it, and I have seen someone in a regular game use it, but we were in a private match, so it's like, well, the KDs don't count here, so yeah. And the only time you'll ever see me using this gun is in a private match, because I don't feel confident. This gun is not, it's not what it used to be, and that saddens me. That is not what it used to be. Anyways, guys, so that is my rundown of my pilot loadouts. Now for my Titan loadouts, there is Ion, which is, I think Scorch is my most played Titan. Yeah, Scorch is my most played Titan. So, but we're gonna go down the list. So Ion, I always use the assault chip, because Ion and assault mode, oh my god, she is a wreck machine. Refraction lens is very good. You can get away with like vortex amplifier, Grand Cannon. I never use 0. I never use the tripwire, and just basically these 4 are basically useless because they don't do anything. The refraction lens is the best in my opinion. Now, with the Titanfall kit, I always run the dome shield. I can't believe just the people that the people that use Warpfall. We need to have a serious discussion about dome shields, because some of you people just don't get the concept. But basically, always use a dome shield, guys. Always do. With Scorch, assault chip always, because AI Scorch is phenomenal. It is debatably the best AI Titan I've seen, and Scorch, like he can go on massive streaks. Like, I've seen it, and it was ridiculous. I always use the assault chip. I don't really use anything else. If you use Nuke Eject in Scorch, you should be playing Scorch anyway. The Scorch kit, you can get away with a lot. I always use Inferno Shield, because the thermal shield gets increased damage and duration. You need that with Scorch. You absolutely need that. Wildfire really doesn't do anything. Like, if you can't hit a Titan with this big ass gun, then don't use Scorch. Tempered plating, if you use this, you're a fucking pussy, because literally you shouldn't be running in your flames anyway. So if you use this, you should not be using Scorch at all. Feel for the Fire is okay, but I don't use it. I always use Inferno Shield. Scorched Earth is okay, but normally if you're a pro Scorch player, you'll always use Inferno Shield. And for Titanfall kit, the Dome Shield, duh. Don't use this. Always use a Dome Shield, boys. Northstar, now, she was my least favorite when the game first came out. I always thought that she was the worst Titan of all of the first 6. I always thought that she was the worst Titan. And then, one day I thought, like, hey, I've been neglecting Northstar. I have to get her up eventually. Like, I have to level her up eventually. I have to regenerate her eventually. So, let's just get it done. Let's just get Northstar done, because it'll take a lot less time than I'm making it out to be. So, Northstar surprised me the first time that I gave her like a full rundown. The first time I actually used her proficiently, or sorry. The first game I actually used her, I got like an 8 kill streak, and when that happened, you'd swear to God, like, oh my gosh, you sure that you're not that you're not like a Northstar main? It's like, right. But anyways, guys, so normally I use Assault Chip because the Northstar AI isn't bad. It's not as efficient as the Scorch AI, but Northstar is definitely good. Like, its AI is okay. She's gotten some sprees with just by herself. With Northstar, I normally use a piercing shot, maybe twin traps. I have used threat optics, but I just don't see a use for them. This one you can fire through targets. So, like, say if you, and that's how you normally get like collaterals and stuff like that. I have actually gotten like maybe 3 in total. So piercing shot is normally what I use, because even if you shoot a pilot, it's still gonna go through the pilot, it's gonna destroy the pilot and keep moving. So that's normally what I use with the Northstar kit. And of course, the Dome Shield. Don't use it. Jimmy? Yeah, I see you there. Don't use it. Don't do it. Alright, so next up is Ronin. I don't normally use Ronin. Oh, sorry. And Northstar has become my second favorite Titan, tied with Ion. Scorch is hands down my favorite Titan, no matter what. But these two are a very close second. Ronin, I normally don't use him because I think he's too easy to use, and I always see him being played with very low leveled people. So Ronin's just very easy to use. So I normally run the Assault Chip. The kit, I have a rough time choosing between these because Temporal Anomaly is set as my active one because Iniquity uses it. You can get away with ricochet rounds, but this one is definitely the way to go because Ronin's a very weak Titan, so you normally want to get out like as soon as possible. So, and the Dome Shield. Tone, I don't know why that's set to overcore, but normally I don't use Tone that much. I know that there was a time where that Tone was all I use. I'm just gonna set it for the Assault Chip right now. So normally with Tone, I'll either use the Assault Chip or the Overcore. The tone kit, if you're not using the burst loader, you are not playing tone right. The rest of these are kind of just but definitely the burst loader is the best. And of course the dome shield. Legion, uh, uh, the 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 okay, very funny story with the Legion. Legion was actually the first Titan that I ever played with. Legion was the first one, and he was also he is the second to last Titan that I've regened. I just don't like how slow he is. I know that he, like, now he's amazing, or so I've heard. I I know he must be like really amazing now, but I can't get behind um Legion because of how slow he is. So anyway, I normally run assault ship. Hidden compartment is basically the best that Legion has to offer. This just uh, this isn't that great. Lightweight alloys. I've never seen anyone use this. Smart core is like it's already long lasting, like to begin with. So, and I don't know why you would need more ammo because because the Legion already comes with like 100 rounds. So I don't know why you would need this. So normally it's just hidden compartment, and of course, uh, uh, the dome shield. Don't touch it. Don't touch this. Don't touch it. Swear to God. Stacy, Stacy, I see you. Get that off of warp fall. And then to this bitch. No, I'm joking. Then to Monarch. So Monarch is very I don't personally play with Monarch that much because I just don't think she's that great. Like, I know, like, most players use Monarch religiously. Like, I know, like true Monarch players just play her religiously. And I don't see the fascination, me personally. I just don't see it. But I know that there are some diehard Monarch players, and I applaud you guys. I thought uh, 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 I thought that she died a long time ago. Anyway, um, ignore that. And so with the Monarch kit, I normally use Rapid Rearm. I really don't see the use of these very much. So that's what I normally use. I always use the Dome Shield, duh. So with the core upgrades, I always use the arc rounds because they deal a lot more damage. You can get away with the missile racks, but eh. And this is okay, I guess, but definitely the arc rounds. Upgrade number 2, rearm and reload, is my opinion the best. I know that everyone uses Maelstrom. I know everyone uses it. I don't blame them. Like, it's very good. I don't get the deal with energy field, but this and this is normally what I use. And then for the third, superior chassis is the best that you can have with Monarch. It's the best. Like arguably, multi-target missiles is definitely okay, but I don't use it. I would always, like, no matter what of the three, I will always use the superior chassis. And so, and last but not least, the boosts. I don't normally use amp weapons. I'll sometimes use ticks. I never use the pilot sentry. map hack will always be used like almost 90% of the time. I I can't think. I don't think I've ever used this ever. I never use the radar jammer. It's easy to get, but it like it's not that bad. But I normally don't use it. The Titan Sentry is just Um, it doesn't do as much damage as you'd think it would, so it's just it does like a decent amount of damage, but it's not as much as you think you would. Don't even think about it. If you use the smart pistol, screw you. You are everything I hate in the world. Sorry, Savage, but like you're a scrub if you use a smart pistol. I'm sorry, guys, but you just are. This is just a trash boost that I can't believe that they even put in the game, because you can have regular phase shift, which is much faster, but it's a lot. But phase shift like kind of pissed me off a little bit, because every time I would go into phase shift, someone would shoot me out of it when I was clearly in phase. So I don't know what the thing is behind that, but phase rewind is basically trash that you shouldn't use unless you're like a pure phase player, and it's like, go ahead and use it to your own device. Go ahead and use the phase rewind, but you will not see me use it ever. Hardcover, you're a scrub if you use this, because this is basically amped wall. Just you don't get the extra damage. Dice roll, I've never recordedly used this, so I don't really care for this one. I have used Holopilot Nova to get the shadowboxing the shadowboxing execution. That was the only time that I used this. It's effective, it is, but I just don't use it that much. So unless you're going for the execution, I wouldn't bother with this. But that's just me. So anyways, guys, so that is my full rundown of my classes, my Titans, and the boost that I use. So hope you guys have a fantastic day, and I will see you all in the next video. See you guys later.